Infosys Prize of 2014 for the social sciences, this year in economics, is awarded to Esther Duflo in recognition of her pioneering and prodigious contributions to development economics, with important implications for policies pertaining to the delivery of services to the poor. Let me just give you a little bit of the background. The jury consisted of, I was chairing it, but we had Professor Avinash Dixit, Professor Amartya Sen, Professor Sunil Khilnani, and Professor Nirvikar Singh. We had long discussions, including a day and a half in Washington, and we concluded, complete unanimity, that Esther Duflo would be the most deserving recipient of the Infosys Prize this year. She has contributed to a methodology which is literally sweeping through a lot of development economics. The method of randomization and naturally occurring randomizations that you may find in different places. The method is a bit like discovering a new way to get at shale oil. You can use the method to find lots of truths residing in different places. And really what we have done thus far is scrape the surface of the many, many things that are waiting to be discovered. Some of the most innovative uses have been by Esther herself. Let me mention and give a little bit of detail to one of them, which was actually done with a co-author in Calcutta, Raghav Chattopadhyay. You know, if you find that in certain regions where you have a woman leader, in those regions, you also have more progressive traits, like water provisioning is better, services are better provided. An important question arises. Is it the woman leader who's doing it? Or is it because it's a more progressive region that they are electing a woman leader? An Indian government requirement that a random set of areas, local governments, have women leaders was used to research and discover that actually it is having the woman leader that makes that difference. You have better provisioning of water, you have better public goods. This is a very celebrated paper and is talked about all over as a pioneering use of the method of randomization which occurs naturally or through some government action that was not done for the researcher, but it's a boon to the researcher that you can exploit this. Esther has done similar work, a large amount of that in India, but even elsewhere. Building a dam, what does it do to the farmers in the region of the dam? What does it do to farmers in the downstream? Remarkable findings, once again, using this method. She and her co-author Abhijit Banerjee has done a popular book called Poor Economics, where they bring a lot of the insight from this method and even other methods to our popular understanding of what poverty does. You know, one of the major findings, and a lot of the book talks about that, is that poverty not only does the obvious things of leaving you deprived, but it hurts your cognitive powers so that you also take wrong decisions, and where you could have got out of poverty, you don't, because the poverty itself impairs your ability to think and take decisions. Esther Duflo has researchers, students all over the world, and a very large number in India. Students, you'll find them scattered all over the country, collecting data, developing their own methods, and doing analysis. So not only is her research very important, she's had a remarkable impact through the students who are working for JPAL, which she directs, the Poverty Action Laboratory. Being a good human being is not a trait that we try to recognize in this prize. If it so happens that the person who gets it is a good human being, that's an additional bonus. We were not looking for that. And I have to say, Esther brings that quality in a remarkable way. From her commitment to the large numbers of students to the poor on whom she does her research. She brings a kind of compassion and kindness which is very, very worthwhile. That's not what she's getting the prize for, but it's a bonus that she brings those qualities to research. Finally, let me add a word to the Infosys Foundation for instituting this award. I'm an economist. I'm fully aware that good fiscal policies, good macroeconomic policies, tariff policies, those things contribute to growth. But for real long-run growth and development, nothing is as important as the knowledge sector. We know this from 400 BC, 300 BC Greece, to 19th century Britain, to 20th century United States, that the knowledge sector and the nurturing of the knowledge sector is critical to do well in the long run, and this prize plays a role in catalyzing and urging this sector to do better and contribute to India's development. So thank you to the Infosys Foundation, and once again, congratulations to Esther Duflo for this very richly deserved award. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Infosys Prize in Social Sciences for Economics, Professor Esther Duflo. May I request Mr. Mohandas Pai to join the presentation as the anchor trustee for this category.
Professor Amartya Sen, Justice Ted, Dr. Murthy, member of the juries, friends, distinguished guests. I realize that I stand between you and dinner, and fortunately, saris have no pockets, so I can't have notes, so I'm going to be very quick. About 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago now, my first trip to India took me to Calcutta first, and then to Bangalore, where I was kindly received by Mr. Murthy, and in fact stayed in Infosys guest house. A few years before, I had read my first book on development economics, which was Amartya Sen's Development as Freedom, though I had no idea it was economics. I thought it was just about life. Therefore, it is particularly fitting and humbling that I should be receiving this wonderful award here in Calcutta from the Infosys Foundation with Amartya Sen as a chief guest. This trip and this book would prove to have decisive influence on both my career and my life. I think they taught me that it was possible to try to do good by doing good work, and to try to do good by doing good scientific work. And this is what I've been striving to do ever since. This is not original at all by now, but in my case, it's really without false modesty at all, that I need to accept this award on behalf of JPAL, the Poverty Action Lab, and in particular, on behalf of JPAL South Asia at IFMR. Without their work, I would not be eligible for getting this award, let alone the question of worthy would not even arise. We have about 100 staff here in India. Without their work is very much about the plumbing, very much like that of the first awardee. But our plumbing is not the plumbing of computers. Our plumbing is the plumbing of social policy. This is about to go from one broad idea of what could possibly work to a concrete set of policies and action of programs that are going to work relatively smoothly on the ground. This is about how to test whether those policies work, whether they don't work, and why they work or don't work. The plumbing work is not often recognized as being of prime importance, but of course it is. It is also incredibly exciting from an intellectual and scientific point of view. So I'm very pleased, very humbled, and very honored that the Infosys Foundation decided to honor this work today. And I hope that this will contribute to make plumbing an even more interesting area of research for young people in the country and elsewhere. I would like to close by thanking my family, in particular my father, a very abstract mathematician, my mother, a very action-oriented doctor, my colleagues, and most particularly Abhijit Banerjee. All these people, this is because of all these people that I'm here today, but most importantly, this is because of all these people that I am who I am today, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. Thank you very much.